that you may want in the end. And I have a feeling that we all are going to fall short sometimes. And and that's okay. Let me be honest with y'all about something. Let me be clear. Up until now, I felt like the stuff I was working on wasn't good enough. I felt like the harder I worked, the more tired and miserable I felt. But when I started looking at things like filmmaking and making movies and things of that nature, I said, why not work on that first? I'm working on my hustle since I was 9 years old. I've been working on computers since then. I've been working on computers, like I said, for over 20 years. It it can be frustrating to work on your hustle and you don't have nothing to show for it. I know how that feels. It can be very degrading and it can be very annoying. I'm here to let you guys know something. Know who the hell you are and know how much you worked and how much you have to sacrifice in order to make your dreams come true. Basically, don't go on YouTube and listen to narrow-minded ass people saying that, oh, if you work on your dreams, it's never gonna come true. Don't believe that shit. Never believe the hype. And the reason why I'm saying that is because of this. I was in your shoes, guys. I was in your shoes. I was watching YouTube. I was believing people. I was basically saying that if I worked on this and that it would come true, that it wouldn't come true, and you have to spend years and years. That's not true. It takes people sometimes months, maybe a couple of years just to get where they at. And there's nothing wrong with it. If you got a dream or a vision, I should say, if you have a vision of what you want to do, I say go the fuck out there and do it. I say go the fuck out there and you do your thing. You don't let nothing or nobody stop you from fulfilling your potential or fulfilling your dreams. Don't ever let nobody stop you. And don't even let your own self hold you the fuck back. You have to push yourself out of the way and push your down severe side, like, fuck this shit, I'm just gonna do it. If it don't work, I can't say I didn't fucking try. And the reason why I'm saying that is because, guys, it is very frustrating when you don't get support from your own circle of folks, like your family, your friends, whatever may have you, or maybe your significant other. But it's like, what's the word I'm looking for? It is 20 times more fucking difficult to hear from strangers. But sometimes you have to face your fears and you have to face your demons to to become successful in life. Yes, it's very difficult, and like I said, it took me a long time to realize that. It took me over 20 years to realize that, okay, I'm holding myself back. I need to go out there. I need to do what the fuck I got to do for me. So I started writing. I'm writing female hero novels now. And yes, they're all fiction. They're not real, but the places I picked for them to live in, those are real. But the names, the events, the the magical fantasy things that you're gonna see in my novels, they're not they're not real. It's all fiction. It's from my imagination. If you want to be a writer, go ahead and do it. If you want to be a filmmaker, go do it. Or you want to be a musician or an audio engineer or an engineer maybe, or maybe a doctor or a lawyer or even a freaking carpenter for whatever reason. Go ahead and do it. Don't let nothing stop you from living the life you truly deserve. If you are an actor or an actress and you making over $500 million every time you make a damn movie, I say kudos. I say congratulations to you, and I still wish you the best of luck. There's a lot of talk out there that you have to be you have to like work in Hollywood in order to do that. First of all, that's not true. It's not true. I've heard plenty of talented people and 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 just hard work and a lot of sacrificing, being independent and doing your own thing and not worrying about who gonna say this and what gonna say that and all the rest of that stuff. That's more fulfilling than going to a place where you have to do all this junk and still don't get no damn recognition. I'm gonna be honest with y'all. The fame in Hollywood is great, and you see the glitz and the glamour and the ball gowns and the suits and the makeup and the plastic surgery and all that stuff. Let me tell y'all something. That shit ain't fucking real. It's not. It's not real. It's a freaking illusion. They got y'all thinking that you have, in order to be a good filmmaker, you have to fly to LA or you have to fly to New York, and you just have to do whatever. You have to like become a PA or go into craft services and things of this and that nature. If you really want to do good content and you really want to like get people to really notice you, you have to go out there and really bust your ass in order for that to happen. You cannot think the opportunity is just going to come to you, come knocking. That's not the way the world works. You have to go out there. You have to create your own experiences. It's difficult. It's hard. Yes, but I found out if you work twice as hard and really, really work on your craft and really work on your brand, you know how many people will start talking? Like, wait a minute, this girl is really doing her thing. Let me go ahead and subscribe to her channel. Or this guy's really working his thing. Let me subscribe to his channel. Guys, it doesn't matter whether you're autistic, visually impaired, I would say we're blind, but that's a little degrading, or you're a person with physical limitations. If you're a person and you're very talented and you're a good person and you really want to make something of yourself, you have to really go out there and you have to really bust your ass in order for that to happen. I've seen people earn PhDs and they working as salespeople in stores. I've seen people have a law degree and they're law clerks and they still happy. Don't work yourself to a bone where you have to put up with mean ass people and mean ass bosses. First of all, you don't have to put up with that shit. You don't. You don't have to put up with it. Who the fuck says you have to go to work every day and you have to put up with disrespect just because they sign your fucking paycheck? Who says you have to deal with that shit? You don't have to deal with it. You have to know what's in your mind and what's in your heart, and to the point where you as a person be like, okay, I ain't gotta put up with this shit any longer. I'm gonna fucking quit this job and I'm gonna go ahead and go make something of myself. I'm not gonna sit up here and keep putting up with the disrespect and keep putting up with the bullshit. You don't have to fucking put up with it. And if they told you have to put up with it, you a damn fool if you gonna put up with that. You a fool. I'm gonna give it to you guys on the real, and I'm gonna give it to you guys raw. First of all, as a person who's dealt with disrespect her entire life, friends, family included, you are going to come to a point in your life, guys, where you're going to have to say to yourself, okay, y'all or me, you will make a decision. You have to say to yourself, okay, I'm a good person and I'm a very, very confident person. And I'm very courageous. If I want to make something of myself in life, and if I want to know my fucking worth, I gotta get the way hell away from toxic ass people. And that's what you have to do. Sometimes you have to go out there and just find yourself and find out who you are as a person. Yeah, it's gonna take you probably moving to another state or moving to another country just to make that happen. I have family members that are out of town because they said they got tired of the life they was living from hand to mouth, paycheck to paycheck, just not getting the recognition that they deserve on their jobs because that they've been working on 20, 30, 40 fucking years because they got they dealing with CEOs and managers and this, that, and the third, to the point where they got to stand there and take it. Just because they put up with it don't mean you have to. You don't have to put up with the disrespect. Just because a person signs your fucking paycheck doesn't mean you they don't they you deserve their disrespect. You don't deserve it. If you're being disrespected on the job and you're going home mad, miserable, and angry all the time, and with bad vibes, bad energy, Maybe, did you ever stop to think that maybe you need to take some time away from that job and focus on you for a while? There's a song that that's been my main motivation since I've gotten older. It's called Good as Hell by Lizzo. I didn't really know much about her until my niece introduced me to her. When I heard that song, I played that song like it was my national anthem, basically. It was like my motivation song. It was a song of like, okay, just because a guy don't fucking want me anymore, that don't mean I don't have to fucking look good for me. What I took out of it was just because I put up with disrespect don't mean I have to put up with it any longer. And that's what you have to think about. Just because you're in a relationship, or just because you're dealing with family, or just because you're dealing with friends, don't mean you have to put up with lies, betrayal, and disrespect. That doesn't mean you have to put up with it. And don't lie to yourself. Don't say negative stuff about yourself like, oh, I'm not good enough. I'm going crazy. I feel like nobody don't like me. First of all, you have to love you for you. It took me a fucking long time to love myself. I've been doubting myself for so long, y'all. It ain't funny. I thought it all started when I was a teenager. Let me give you a little background story of how I came to terms with myself. It started when I was a teenager. I was 14. I I didn't know what the hell I was going to do for the rest of my life. I didn't know. So I started talking to my IEP teacher. I was a freshman in high school. I'm not going to forget this. We had a little meeting with me, my administrator, my one of my other teachers, but they were mad cool, so I really didn't have no issues. My IEP teacher, my mom, and my grandma had to wait in the car because she was a little tired, but that's neither here nor there. Anyway, they couldn't really do the meeting without my grandma, but I was a little skeptical about it because I'm like, I thought it was just gonna be yelling me and my mom. What the hell? But that's neither here nor there. My grandma came in, she sat down, and she decided to listen in. They started talking about my grades, saying how my grades was pretty good, and I was going somewhere. Everybody asked me what I wanted to do for a living. The first thing that popped into my head was filmmaking. I said, I love movies. I love the way they're made. I want to do something like that one day. My grandma was ecstatic. She was happy for me because she looked at me. She was like, "But baby, you've always wanted to do that?" I said, "Yeah, I've always wanted to be able to filmmaking, Granny, since I was a little kid." She was like, "Oh, I didn't think you were serious." I said, "Granny." She was a little skeptical about it at first, but once she saw how passionate I was about it, she was cool. So she gave me her support. Mom did too, even though she was a little shocked, but what parent would? What surprised me was that everything went smoothly for my first year of high school. Everything was smooth. I made friends. I was cool with my teachers. I got nice grades. I was working my ass off, basically. I was just basically doing everything I can to get the fuck out of high school because that was my main priority. I didn't really focus on nothing else. I had a crew of friends. Yes, I was semi popular. I wasn't popular with everybody because there was a lot of people in school that hated me. Either was because of my looks, or the way I talked, or the way my demeanor was, or things of that nature. But nothing about me never changed. It wasn't until sophomore year. I was in the 10th grade. This was when things got a little scary. I had another IEP meeting. It was after 6 months. I met up with same group of people, but this time my grandma stayed in the room. She didn't really leave because she wanted to hear what was really going on. I was doing horrible in my sophomore year. I got sick a lot. I was in and out of the hospital. I hit my head for one. I got the sore on my head to this day. I hit my head so bad it was bleeding like stupid, so I had to go to the hospital for that. That really sucked. My dad had a cold that lasted almost a month, so that really sucked too. I missed almost 40 some days of school. I missed a little 40 days of school. And my teachers was getting a little concerned. I was doing my homework, yes. Sick or not, I was doing my homework. They weren't scared because of my abilities to do my homework. The homework they gave me was pretty fucking easy, so that was nothing. It was my absences, and I kept explaining to them how I got sick a lot. Some of them understood, some of them acted like I was faking. My mom and grandma came to the school for my AP meeting. I don't want to give out the exact details of what exactly happened. Let me give you some tidbits. So brace yourselves. We were all sitting around. Everything was the first 15 minutes of the meeting was going fine. My grades was slowly coming up. Everybody was a little happy that I came back to school after being gone for almost 2 months. Something my history now. I'm not lying to you guys. This is the absolute truth. My history teacher, my U.S. history teacher, said this out of his mouth. I swear, I thought my jaw was gonna hit the fucking floor. I was so shocked when he said this shit. My administrator asked me, do I still want to become a filmmaker? I said yes, because I'm very good at art. I drew a lot in class because that was the only thing that kept me from going ape shit on my damn teachers. Because I had a couple teachers I was mad cool with. They didn't really give me no problems. It was maybe no wait. Let me rephrase that. None of my teachers I got along with. We were mad cool with each other. I have no issues. I got along with the librarian because I stayed in the library a lot because I love to read. It was that one history teacher I couldn't fucking stand. But I learned a lot from, and I learned my lesson with this shit. No lie. When I was a sophomore, we had that meeting, and I told my administrator I still wanted to become a filmmaker, and he asked me, "Well, since you're so talented at art, why don't you just take an art class?" I said, "Okay, I'm cool with that. When can I start taking the class?" He said, "Well, how about next semester?" I said, "Cool. I'm good. I'm cool with that." I was cool with it. My IP teacher was cool with it. My mom was cool with it. Grandma was cool with it. One bugging. It was that very second he ruined the whole vibe. Everybody was vibing. Everybody was joking around. My administrator was asking me what kind of films did I like. I said I love action and adventure, thriller, fantasy, horror, basically any genre you throw at me. But the only thing I said that I really didn't like all that much was westerns. I was not really a western type of female, but as I got older down the line, I kind of grew into it. But anyway, he said something that killed the whole mood. He said, if she keeps failing my class, this is no shit, I'm serious. He said, if she keeps failing my class, she's gonna grow up to be an old maid. When I said my jaw hit the floor, I mean my jaw dropped. I was like, mind you, I'm 15. I didn't know what the fuck he was talking about back then. So I said to him, what I was thinking was way different than what I said. This is what I was thinking. What the fuck you talking about? But what I said was, seriously? Why would you say something like that to me? Why? He said, because your grades are terrible. It took everything in me not to jump across that table, take my grandma's cane, and beat the hell out of him with it. I was this close to going stupid. I was this close. But my grandma calmed my fears. She said, she's basically doing homework that you give her every night. What are you talking about? He was like, what homework? I haven't received any assignments from her. I said, that's a lie. Now, here's what happened when the tables turned. My mom had a folder this thick of all the homework that he gave me for those 2 months I was gone. Now, when I said I was really sick, guys, I mean, I was hospitalized. No bullshit. I said to him, I said, Oh, you haven't gotten any of my assignments. He said, no, because you were gone for 2 months. I said, but I gave you my excuse. What's the problem? He said, oh, that wasn't good enough for me. My mom looked at him. She was like, really? I've been meaning to talk to you about that. 1 second. So she grabbed the folder this thick. I'm not jacking y'all. I did all them 2 months worth of homework. It was this thick. I'm not bullshitting. It was this thick. She pulled it out. She said, oh, if my daughter had been doing her homework, why do I have it in my hand? He was like, wait a minute. I thought she didn't do her homework. She was like, wait a minute. As much as I told my baby she did not have to do this homework and she didn't want to, she told me how you treated her. Now, let me pause that for a second and let me give you some tidbits of how you treated me. I slept in class one time. I was so exhausted because I spent the night before throwing up my damn lungs. I literally threw up almost every fucking thing I ate, including dinner. I was so pissed. I threw up on my bed. I threw up on the floor. I had diarrhea real bad. And I don't want to get into the details about the other stuff because that's pretty much relevant to the story. But anyway, so let me resume back the story. So after I got through throwing up and stuff like that the night before, I came to school. My eyes were so dark. They thought I got punched in the face. It was just that horrible. But that's neither here nor there. So he took the folder out of my mother's hands. I even did a PowerPoint slide presentation and I put it on a flash drive. Now, I told you I'm very tech savvy. So I knew what the fuck I was doing. I gave him a USB flash drive. It was this big. I said, oh, and by the way, sir, I even did some extra credit just to see how your face would look when I give it to you. Here's the flash drive. It's all yours. He said, what is this? I said, I did a history presentation from 1770 all the way up till now. He looked at me, he said, how did you do that? I said, listen, I've been doing PowerPoint presentations since I was in the 5th grade. Don't play with me. I had a big cheesy smile on my face. So he had his laptop with him. He plugged in the USB drive, clicked on my PowerPoint presentation. I didn't do not just one slide. I did about 50 to 75. I'm just taking a guess here. The very last one, slide 75, I wrote down the credits. I put everything in APA format, just like I do now in college. I put everything in APA format, but I reworded the history into my own words. And I made a few slides of my own thoughts of how history keeps repeating itself. So I called the presentation How History Repeats Itself from 1770 to 2005. I'm not bullshitting. It was hilarious. I thought my administrator was gonna fall off the chair. He was laughing so damn hard. He was like, so my teacher slid his laptop to my administrator. He looked at everything. He said, so how long did it take you to do this presentation? I said, about 3 hours. I had blisters on my fingers. Like I thought the blisters was gonna pop out of my hands. I was typing so fast. So, excuse me. So he he said, it took you 3 hours to do this report? I said, yes, sir. He said it would take students almost 2 days. I said, not me. My mom looked at my administrator and then at my teacher. She said, y'all should have never told my daughter to do that freaking assignment. That was real stupid. I was like, Mom, I did extra credit on my own. She said, baby, I got this. I said, okay, I'm shutting my mouth. My grandma was like, baby, let your mama handle it. I said, yes, ma'am. I didn't argue with them. My teacher could not argue with me. He had no choice but to pass me. It was just that funny. I took those 2 months. I was in bed because I was sick. I took those 2 months and I just did my homework. I thought my teacher was going to throw up bananas. It was so funny. After the meeting was over, my mom and grandma told me they was going to wait for me in the car because I was too sick to stay in school that day. I was only there for about a couple hours. So my mom and grandma, they was like, so we're going to wait for you in the car, baby. Okay. Do you need to go get your stuff or anything? I said, can I just get some books and and a USB drive? I really need it for my next class. It was like, oh sure, baby, go ahead. Now I went to a college prep high school. I had 10 classes. Well, 9, because lunch included. I had 9 classes. So I bought 9 flash drives. That was all I needed. I had a tiny tablet and a little laptop. I had a laptop for about 3 years. Just a little something I bought with my computer money. It was just something I wanted to use. So after I bought everything, I paid off my fees. I paid off my fees a little early. I paid off my library fees for school because I checked out a couple books and I kind of lost one of them, so I paid off my fees a little early just to get that bill off my ass. It was just really crazy. But anyway, after I grabbed everything, I grabbed my textbooks. I said goodbye to all my teachers. I told them I was going to be back. I don't know when. I came back about maybe a month or so later. I came back a month later. I was at home sick for about a month. I came back, got all my homework done. I even did a literature presentation for my English lit class. Now I'm telling you guys, I was in the 10th grade. I'm telling you guys, it's no joke. I I walked up to my English teacher. Class was over. I said to her, I said, ma'am, do you still have all my homework that you think I didn't turn in? She said, oh, you haven't turned in anything. I said, oh, really? I reached into my backpack. She thought I was going to pull out a gun. I don't even know how to handle a gun. And two, I don't even like them. But anyway, I pulled out a USB drive once again, and I pulled out a little folder. This thing. Now, like I told y'all, I was only gone for like a month, so it took me a minute just to get my thoughts together. So anyway, I pulled out everything. I said, ma'am, here you go. She was like, Sabrina, what is all this? I said, these are my reports. A book report of one of my favorite books. I even did a movie report on Romeo and Juliet, one of my favorite plays by William Shakespeare. And also, oh, excuse me. And also, I even did a PowerPoint presentation of why English is very important in our everyday lives. When I said she hit the flow, yo, I mean she hit the flow. I mean she went like she went crazy. I'm like, she is so extra. When you 15, you don't really think about the important shit. Like, okay. So anyway, after all that was over, I walked out of the classroom with the biggest smile on my face. I was so fucking geeked. I met up with my friends. Chris was one of them. He was like, "What did you do?" I said, "What?" He said, "What did you do?" I said, "Dude, I just gave her my report. That's all I did." He said, "Sabrina, she practically hit the damn floor." I said, "Dude, don't worry. She just fainted. She'll be all right in 5 minutes." And I was right. But it took about 3 minutes. So anyway, I went to lunch. Everything was fine. Everything was dandy. Midterms and finals was around the corner. I went to class. I was fine. I was just gonna pull out my sketchbook and I was gonna draw a little cartoon, just a little something to remind me of my 2 years in high school. Now, this is when things get ugly. Excuse me, guys. Sorry. This is when things get ugly and stupid. There's this kid in our class. His name was Norman. He was a dick. Okay? Excuse my language. No, let me rephrase that. He was an idiot. My teacher at the time, she was mad cool. She's still mad cool. She's mad cool. Her name is Miss Vaughn. One of my favorite teachers, by the way. She decided to let everybody know what was going to come around the corner. And I couldn't know about it because every time I knew about it, I wasn't ghost for a couple weeks. This is when things get a little scary. I was just sitting at my desk, just doodling for the day because I did all my homework, I did all my reports, I turned in everything I turned in for those 3 months that I was gone, and I was fine. I was caught up in everything. I didn't have to do homework for the next 2 weeks. I was cool. That's when his dumbass said something. He said, "Why can't we say midterms and finals?" I was gone within a millisecond. When I said I was gone, I mean I went ghost. I went Casper. Okay. Chris turned around and I was gone. He was like, I could hear the boys screaming down the hallway. I was running so fast it wasn't even funny. I stayed locked up in the library for 2 weeks. 2 weeks I stayed in there. I didn't eat, I didn't sleep, I didn't do shit. I just stayed there. Like I stayed in my happy place. Excuse me. When I tell you Chris was practically screaming when I heard him down the hallway, he was practically yelling. Like I've never seen Chris that pissed off ever. As long as I've known him, I've known him since I was 13. So basically, we've known each other for a few years. I'm telling you, when I never seen the boy mad like that. I've never seen him that mad. Like Lily. Chris is one of my best friends. I've known him since I was 13. We met during one of the open houses at our old high school. We met there, and we were inseparable ever since. We had a little couple arguments here and there, but nothing too serious. We never got into a fist fight or nothing. Everybody thought our friendship was perfect. Our friendship was perfect. First of all, it took us damn near a week to get used to each other, and this, that, and the third. And plus, as we started learning to grow on each other, as you can say, the rest is history. But anyway, back to the story. After I went ghost for a couple of days, I didn't go to class. I didn't eat lunch. I didn't eat breakfast hardly. I practically didn't even touch my dinner. I was so focused on studying. Chris went nuts. When I tell y'all he went nuts on this guy, I mean he went stupid. I didn't know what the fuck to think at first. I didn't know what the fuck to say when he was defending me. I mean, I could practically hear him screaming down the hallway. After I got through with my 2 week studying binge like I was a freaking idiot, finals came up. I studied for finals for weeks. I studied my ass off. I mean, I was just that determined. Once finals came, I took my finals, passed every single one of them. I got exempted from some of them because I kept turning in my homework. So they was practically cool with me on that one. So I didn't have to come to school on some days because, like I said, I turned in my homework. I was fine. Christmas break came. Me and this guy got into an argument. And he wanted to ask me what the hell I was looking at him like that for. I didn't even stare at him, so I didn't know who the hell he was talking about. I thought he was talking about me, but whatever. Before I could say anything, he punched my face. To this day, I still got a chipped tooth, but I'm not going to take myself there. My mouth was bleeding. I was crying. My eyes was bloodshot red. I saw red. All I saw was revenge. That's all I saw. 2 security guards chased his ass down the hallway by the cafeteria. I mean, they literally chased his ass. I didn't know what the fuck to think. He hit me so fast, I could fucking blink. I was like, did his ass just hit me? I couldn't hit him back because he was a guy. And then I found out jackass wasn't supposed to be there because he was like 20 years old and I was 15. Of course, they called the cops. He got arrested that same day for assault and battery on a minor. Whatever. My life was fine after that. Junior year, things got crucial. It was my 3rd year. I was still passing classes. I was still turning in homework, even though half them classes I had I didn't fucking like, but whatever. Got into my math class. Math class was pretty decent because I had a pretty decent teacher at the time. She was cool and everything like that. But when I got but when I got to my first art class, I was hooked. I was in love. I was drawing portraits. I was drawing landscapes. My art teacher loved me. She asked me why I'm not taking more art classes. I said, because this is my last 2 years. I want to at least enjoy them while I can. She looked at me and said, Willie. I said, yes, ma'am. She was like, you are really talented. I've never seen this talent. How long have you been drawing? I said, I've been drawing since I was 8. I wasn't joking, by the way. She was like, you are really good. She was like, listen, we're having a field trip coming up, going to the art museum. You want to go? I said, why would I pass that up? I like museums. I was very adventurous that way. So the day, it was like a couple of days before the trip, she asked everybody to take their permission slips home and sign them. Of course, my mom agreed. She was cool with it. She was like, oh, an art museum? Oh, my baby ain't gonna get in no trouble. I didn't. If the field trip came, I had my own lunch. I decided not to eat the school lunch because I kept getting sick, so whatever. We went to our museum. Everything went fine. Whole trip went great. Went back to the school. It was time to go home. I got sick again. This time I had a really bad cold. Lasted almost 2 months. So I had to stay at home because I didn't want to infect anybody else. I'm like, I don't want to infect anybody with my cold. I'll just stay at home for a couple days. So I was at home for a couple days. I drank water regularly and everything. So everything was fine. Senior year. That's when things started to get crucial. It was senior year. It was crunch time. ACTs and SATs was coming up. I was ready because I was studying that damn test for almost 3.5 months. It was nuts. It wasn't until the last part of my senior year I got sick. I stayed at home for 3 weeks. I decided to take my SATs and my ACTs. I decided to take both because the tests were pretty easy. I was studying. I was like, okay, maybe half of this shit is on the test. Why not study for it? It was day 8 of my. It was not day 8. Excuse me. It was day 2 of my test. I was done. I was done with the testing. I was fine. That's when I took the SATs. I was done with. I took that shit a week before. I took my ACTs and I was already finished. It took me about a couple hours, but nonetheless, I got high marks. I think I got a 1550 on my SATs, and I think I got a 28 on my ACTs. I don't know for sure. But before I could find out about my results, I had to go to the hospital. It was really crazy. So after all that went down, I came back to school in time for my graduation. I was feeling fine. I got my hair done, got me a whole new outfit. I was cool. It wasn't until I left high school that I got sick again. All my friends went to college. They started their own families. It was just really crazy. Then I realized all that hard work, it meant everything to me, and I don't doubt it for a second. But I was risking my self-worth and I was risking my health. That wasn't worth it. And that's what I kept telling myself over the years. So I'm making this video to tell you guys this. Don't ever sacrifice yourself for hard work. And don't ever risk your health just so you can get high marks. Because not everything in life is about high marks or just simply competing against other people just to get the best seat. Take care of yourself. Know your worth and know who you are. Because not everybody has your best interest. And that's what I had to learn. When you get to a point in your life where you know everything is not going to really go right, you have to say to yourself, okay, what can I do to change the tables a little bit? Change the tables in my favor. That's what I had to realize. So I want to tell you guys this. Learn from my story. Learn from my story. Don't look at it just because of the glitz and the glamour. Look at it as also a person who damn near killed herself just because she didn't know who her worth was. I'll see you guys in my next video. And I'll talk to you guys at the end of this class I'm going through. See ya.